Story 1. I used to live in a fairly busy area of the city near a popular road for restaurants and bars. I would walk around and watch the people there. Every now and then, you see a couple walking together that you can instantly tell are so in love with each other that it's almost like nothing else in the world exists. They lean into each other, steal glances, and when they both look at the same time, they lock eyes with a knowing smile. They know they are loved by the other. It is so intense, so obvious, that even someone as inexperienced and far from that as I am can see it. That is what I want. Story 2. I just want a life partner. I am flexible with everything. I just want someone who wants me as much as I want them. Story 3. Closeness, being there for ups and downs, hugs, kisses, walks hand in hand, watching something while resting your head in their lap or vice versa, being the voice of reason when needed, regardless of whether I realize it or not. And that is all before intimacy. Story 4. I want what I have from my wife. In addition to basic relationship requirements like loyalty and no abuse, I want someone I genuinely look forward to being with every day. Someone I relate to in every way except genetically. Someone around whom I can be my most vulnerable and never expect it to be used against me. Story 5. Do not be judgmental and give us the same freedom and safe space we provide. Let us love our hobbies and recharge. Story 6. Most women want kindness and basic respect. In terms of an ideal partner, I would want someone who sees value in me and our relationship, wants to set mutual goals, and work towards them together. A woman who is patient, communicates, and makes me feel okay being myself, but also someone who pushes me to be a better person. I want her to hold me accountable and highlight how I can improve. I also want someone who makes me feel safe and protected, not physically or with violence. Although women who know how to shoot or fight can be attractive, I want her to see my blind spots, stand up for me, and be there when I am feeling vulnerable. Finally, I want someone who needs me. I am not saying I want a dependent or submissive person, but I want to feel like I am a super integral part of her life. I don't think I have ever experienced that, and I want to know what it is like. Many women seem opposed to that these days, so maybe I never will. Story 7. Connection, companionship, friendship, conversations, listening with the intention of understanding. Give me the opportunity to do all these same things for her too. Story 8. Intimacy. Just spontaneously come up and hug me. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Tell me you love me. I have been married for almost 8 years. Isn't that sad that that is all I want? Story 9. Loved, respected, understanding, companionship, affection other than just sex, connection, mutual goals, the remote control. Story 10. Someone who believes in me, laughs with me, cuddles, is there for each other emotionally, and shares new adventures and experiences. Just generally a partner and someone who makes our problems feel like us against the world. Story 11. I have 3 hard lines. 1. Be faithful. 2. No physical or verbal abuse. 3. Do not screw me over financially. These go both ways. I do not cheat. I do not abuse her. And I do not screw us over financially. I expect the same from her. Everything else is negotiable, like who does the dishes, who does the laundry, and who cooks. We can take turns or figure out who will do what. In a perfect world, I want quality time together, but also time to do my own things like video games, golf, or going to the gym. She should have things she does where I do not feel like I have to entertain her all the time. I like eating dinner together every night and that she cares about my day and what is going on at work. Even if I do not really care enough to talk about it, it is sweet that she cares. Story 12. I genuinely do not care about sex in and of itself. I want someone who makes me feel at peace and enjoys my company and presence, someone who appreciates me as a person. Physical intimacy is desirable, but it is desired because of the love I have for her and she has for me, not because I have a physical need to have sex and this is my designated person to do it with. I want a woman who feels safe and secure with me, who looks up to me as a source of inspiration and as an emotional pillar in her life, and who can eventually start a family with me that we can both find happiness in raising together. Story 13. Just give me a good hug once in a while. I really don't need much. Just be with me, I guess. It's not hard to be with me. Story 14. For me, peace. My 20s were absolutely atrocious. I was diagnosed with kidney disease at 21, married at 22, and lost my mother at 24. I started dialysis at 26. 6 months in, my wife said she was leaving because I didn't do anything, just sat around tired. No surprise. So now, dialysis, single father, and working a full-time labor-intensive job. Life was flipped on its head. Multiple surgeries later and over 2 years on dialysis, I got a transplant. I'm still struggling to get out of the huge amount of debt it all caused, but I enjoy my peace. No drama, aside from the ex, but we are pretty amicable about everything involving my daughter, as we both truly have her best interest at heart. I just want peace and someone to enjoy that peace with. I turned 30 this past Thursday and I refuse to have a difficult 30. Story 15. So I recently reconnected with a girl I had a crush on 20 years ago. At dinner, the waiter asked if I wanted another beer, and I said sure. A while later, he asked if we wanted the bill, and she said I think he wanted another beer. She was cool about it and said it wasn't rude to remind people. People forget because they are busy. That's what I want. Another beer and a woman who will make sure I get it. That felt good. Story 16. What I seek for my wife is someone to be my best friend, someone to keep me company at home, a safe place to vent and let my guard down, and a second opinion I trust. Story 17. Kindness. Peace für disposition. Ability to control and manage emotions. Quality conversation. Good energy. Energetic and ready for small adventures. Story 18. A true partner. Someone who understands me and supports me. I am not asking for blind loyalty, but for an advocate. I expect to do the same in return. Story 19. To not feel like a wallet. To feel wanted. To be allowed to be sick or injured as well. To not be compared to an ex-partner or father. To feel like home is my safe place, not another place where I will get yelled at. To feel like my wants, needs, and hobbies matter too. Story 20. A partner, a friend, a soulmate. Someone who accepts my differences and someone whose differences I am happy to accept. Someone to call me out when I am being difficult. Someone who will have my back as I have hers. Story 21. I want unprompted cuddles and hugs, genuine laughs, and contented silence. I am something of a low self-esteem person, so having those small validating interactions really adds up. I also like having mini side quests where I do things for someone I love and see them appreciate me. Story 22. Let me share what I want to provide for a woman. I want to be the kind of husband who, when he receives a text about how bad her day is going, replies with something like, "Come home. I have ice cream, blankets, pillows, and your favorite show ready." I want to help her find her peace again, even after the worst days. Someone who reminds her that life is, at the end of the day, beautiful. In terms of appearance, I want to look as good as I can for her. I want to keep working out, watch what and how much I am eating, and take care of my hygiene and skin as much as is healthy without being obsessive. I do want to be attracted to her as well. Kindness and patience are other attributes I genuinely strive to achieve. Being understanding toward retail workers, not losing my cool when someone cuts me off on the road, and assuming the best in people until proven otherwise. The world is in a rush, but that does not mean I have to be. Finally, she does not have to share my faith, but I ask that she at least respect it and have similar values. Forgiveness and compassion are what I ask for on that front. I would love to find a woman who values these same things. Peace, health, balance, support, kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. Hopefully that is detailed enough. I'm never sure how much to share anymore. Story 23. I want to find someone with whom I can share my life. This includes traveling, building wealth, starting a family, and more. I live in a society in the United States where, as a man, I have to be strong, resilient, and vigilant. I desire a woman with whom I can be my authentic self and be vulnerable without being judged. Story 24. I need to know she is on my team with me and not against me. Similar goals, outlook on life, and where we are going. Someone I can get along with and be comfortable with, even in silence. Stability and maturity are paramount. I need to be with someone who takes care of herself physically, financially, emotionally, and mentally. I do not think I would get very far without a great sense of humor. Source: happily married for over 30 years. Story 25. Kindness and warmth. Pretty much everything else is negotiable. The world is cold, and a little warmth goes a long way. Even just the way my dog is always happy to see me. That heals so much anger and frustration. I remember my first real girlfriend would be at my apartment sometimes while I was working. She would hear me coming up the stairs and throw the door open before I could even get my keys in the lock. She stood there with a big smile on her face and hugged me tightly. She was so excited to see me that she wasn't going to wait for me to unlock the door. I haven't experienced that feeling from a woman in almost 20 years. Story 26. The love and security I feel with my partner. She is absolutely my best friend, and whenever I think of trying something new, it is her I want to experience it with. We have a few hobbies that do not overlap, and I will go off on my own to the card shop or play a game online, but she is an incredible partner and someday will be an incredible mother. Story 27. Emotionally, men want to feel 1. Needed. 2. Respected. We do not need a lot of reinforcement, but occasional comments here and there go a huge way to making us feel loved, secure, and happy. Story 28. Companionship. Someone I can laugh with, talk to all day, and never get tired of. A good partner with common goals who works with me, and I with them, whether those goals are financial or otherwise. Someone whom I am excited to see every day and who is excited to see me. Story 29. Companionship. I want this more than sex. I want someone I enjoy being around just as much as I enjoy being alone or with my friends. Someone to work together with as a partner to improve each other's and our joint life. Someone to share my concerns and stresses with, and of course, help them with theirs as well. Someone with whom I can share my hobbies and passions and maybe pick up a few new ones from them as well. Story 30. Love and intimacy. Someone to warm my bed at night. You can buy many things with money, even sex, but not love and intimacy. Story 31. Kisses, face kisses all the time, head kisses all the time, adoration, cuddles, vulnerability, respect, loyalty, partnership, and collaboration. Story 32. Relationships are not a service being provided. They are two people being themselves who fit together. Story 33. To feel safe opening up without being judged or fixed. A partner who sees me beyond what they provide. Story 34. Connection. Someone to rest my head on after a long day of work, both physically and mentally. A sense that no matter what happens, we are a team. The future always includes us together, and we both feel that way. Story 35. Someone to hang out with as we make our way through life. Support when life gets hard. Someone who makes me smile when the world is crushing me. Partner in crime, so to speak. Basically a best friend you love and cuddle. Story 36. You're really limiting my options here, miss. Jokes aside, I want someone who doesn't mind the silence. Peace and quiet affect most people, making them think they're not worthy when, in reality, I'm just vibing. Story 37. I do not even care about sex. I want someone to share the experience of life with. I want a genuine connection. Someone to laugh or cry with. I want someone to be there for me and for me to be there for them. Story 38. Someone to help shoulder the burden and help me see myself as I am, not just how I perceive myself. Story 39. To be listened to. Take my advice when I give it and act on it rather than creating new problems that need solving. I am happy to listen if that is what is needed, but if you need help and I give it and you agree with it, then do not contest it just because it is easier to complain than to take action. Story 40. Intimacy, vulnerability, trust, appreciation, affection, desire, acceptance, connection, friendship, love. Enough intimacy to feel part of them. Enough vulnerability to feel closest to who they really are. and enough of both to know I have their trust and that they feel safe with me. Enough appreciation to know I am valued. Enough affection to know they care. Enough desire to know they want me. And enough of each to feel accepted as I am. Enough connection to know I belong with them and they with me. Enough friendship to know there is no one I would rather be around. Enough of each to build a lasting bond of love. And all of the above to actually feel like I am enough. Story 41. Trust. A person I can trust to be myself around. Partner for life. Spend the rest of my life with her. Resolution-oriented. If there is a conflict between us, we both work to resolve it. Considerate. Understands where I am coming from, my feelings, and my background. Nothing perfect. I have my flaws and so does she. Story 42. Enthusiasm. I am so excited to see my wife every day. I wake up and am just glad to be seeing her. She gets home from work and I am racing my children down the hall to say hi and get a hug. I do not get the same feeling from her. I know she is usually tired and she is happy to see me, but I wish she would show it more. Story 43. I would be happy to replace sex with a hardcore cuddle session. Sometimes, I want sex just so we can have a cuddle afterward. I was just thinking about this an hour ago. The old adage, work hard, play hard, is always attributed to men. Sometimes, I want softness. Soft touches, soft voices, and soft words. Words of affirmation and love. Women have a superpower they almost never use. They have the ability to hug tightly and softly at the same time. Most women don't use that power enough. Story 44. I want to chat, play board games, cuddle, snuggle, watch shows, and play games together. I also want to go out to movies, travel, try new restaurants, and shop with them. Story 45. Someone who sees and accepts me for who I am. They do not have to like all of it. I know I am not perfect. I just want to be accepted. Story 46. I want her to be aligned with my long-term goals. I do not want to be with someone who prioritizes her own short-term pleasure over my long-term goals. For example, if I am working towards something that will provide for our future, I want her to at least leave me alone and at most contribute something that helps me succeed. If she is so myopic and self-centered that she sees my long-term preparation as an affront to her present moment well-being, then we are done. Story 47. Depends on the woman and the situation. But the general answers are validation, respect for my time, warmth, kindness, and consideration. Basically the same things I want from men. Women are not a special class to me in any realm besides sex. Story 48. Someone who tries to understand me. A companion, encouragement, and support. It is important to say that none of that would be one-sided. All of it would be reciprocated. Someone who is interested in my hobbies and interests while bringing new ones into my life. Building Lego, playing computer games and board games with me. Maybe some cosplay too. And hugs. Story 49. I do not think you can ask for much more than a mutually affectionate relationship where both parties desire each other. Being reminded that you are doing something right is important feedback for both parties. Story 50. It feels relaxing and gives confidence that anything can be achieved in this world. Many men have achieved success because of their life partners. Many men's lives are destroyed by the wrong life partner and breakups. Story 51. Can we drop the idea that men only or primarily want sex? How about you define what you want in a relationship, and then use the fact that men and women are both people who feel the same feelings to get an answer. Men are not sex robots and want and deserve love, loyalty, emotional intimacy, safety, affirmation, quality time, compatible personalities, inclusion in your hobbies, family, and friends. Men need grace and patience when dealing with their imperfections. Men need empowerment to exist independently of the context of the relationship in some way. Men need support emotionally and financially. Men need help navigating trauma and mental health. Men need company. Men need someone to confide in without worry that you will share their secrets with friends at the first opportunity. Men need communication and compromise in disagreements rather than conflict and confrontation. Men need to not be objectified as sex objects or checking accounts. Men need trust that you will be willing to listen and understand without only putting things in terms of how it makes you feel or that we feel a certain way. Men need to be believed when they communicate a feeling, thought, or concern. Men need respect and empathy. Men need encouragement to pursue fulfillment and sexual liberation. Men need their societal struggles to not be undermined or ignored. Men need acts of service, compliments, and gifts. Men need everything you need. But the bar is so low that we will be happy with just someone who still has sex with us after the wedding. Because at the end of the day, yes, men are generally more driven by sexual desire than women because evolution dictates that in the primal part of us. But that in no way means that in our civilized and social side, it is our only or primary need. Story 52. Look, men just want to be wanted. We will fight a grizzly bear for a woman who makes us feel valued and appreciated. Story 53. A cry into her shoulders as she plays with my hair and tells me it is going to be all right, even if it is not. Story 54. Hug, kiss, playing games together, traveling together, dining together, listening to my problems, debating, cooking meals, cleaning. Before I receive downvotes on the last two, I would say cleaning and cooking are basic life skills. They do not need to happen every day, of course. Both men and women should do those tasks. I honestly cannot stand women who cannot contribute to cleaning. One reason I broke up with my ex was that she refused to clean our apartment. It was always me who did that. As for debating, I cannot stand a woman who refuses to say anything when there is a problem, thus prolonging awkwardness between us for more than one day. If there is a problem, I want her to talk, to debate even. Arguing for one day is better than being quiet and saying nothing for a week. With my current partner, we argue or discuss almost every 2 to 4 days. I like it because it can solve relationship problems more quickly. Story 55. Sex is not even the top of the list. I want, and luckily have, a woman who allows me to be myself and loves me for that. I could not ask for anything more. Unless you have that deep connection, sex is just something physical you can get anywhere. Story 56. It's important to be with us not only physically, but emotionally as well. I mean, be present. We, as men, will find a way to figure things out, but your genuine presence means more than you might realize. Be honest, not just about us, but about everything. If you no longer feel the same, just tell us. Be open about the state of the relationship. If you're unsure or having doubts or second thoughts, let us know. Don't force yourself into decisions you're not ready to make. Be honest with us, but more importantly, be honest with yourself. Story 57. Understanding and acceptance. The desire to understand every part of each other and the ability to accept what you cannot fully understand. Truly seeing each other, being open and vulnerable about anything without fear of judgment or rejection. This goes back to true understanding and acceptance. The desire to help each other grow. Acknowledging that no one is perfect and there are always ways to improve and grow as individuals and as a couple. Not because we cannot accept and love who we are right now, but because we always want to better ourselves and each other. Story 58. Romantic connection. I want to have a strong romantic connection with the woman I am sexually involved with. It makes me feel like the sex matters much more, like there is something beyond simple physical pleasure. I also feel it would probably make the sex feel better too. Friendship. In addition to fostering a sexual and romantic connection with her, I want to have a meaningful platonic relationship with her. I want to really enjoy being with her, even when neither of us is feeling particularly romantic or sexually interested. In general, I would like to have several female friendships, as I was generally treated kindly by most girls when I was growing up. I am far less apprehensive around women than men, even though almost all of my friendships were or are male. A strong sense of trust. When I am around her, I want to feel safe, like she truly cares for my emotional security and will not deliberately try to hurt me. Story 59. Intelligent conversation. Interesting ideas. Different opinions. Mutual support. Cuddles. Physical affection without sex. Trust and accountability, especially honesty regarding needs and desires. passion in life and hobbies. I am not even taking the center of attention, sharing excitement, someone who is authentic and kind. I know these women exist, but they are usually already in healthy relationships. Story 60. I want her to shower me with love and affection, to hold hands with me. I want to rest on her chest whenever I feel low. I want her to hug me and cuddle me. Story 61. The only thing I need is loyalty. Everything else is a bonus. A hug after work means a lot, and just being reassured every now and then. Story 62. The scratches on the top of my head, when I cuddle with them, give me words of affirmation. That is something special. Story 63. Honestly, just peace, loyalty, and someone who actually listens. I do not want to feel like I am in a competition or constantly proving my worth. Just be real, stay consistent, and grow with me. That is all. Story 64. Companionship, affection, cuddling, small gestures of affection and appreciation, and sometimes a day off from the man's usual routine. Story 65. Someone who supports me and is happy to do things for me. I fell for my current girlfriend because she made me breakfast, waited for me, and looked pretty with a smile on her face. Before anyone says I want a servant, I do not. I want someone who supports me, has food ready after a long day, listens when I have a problem, and occasionally does a skincare routine for me. Do I expect that every day? No. I also like to be helpful and useful. Story 66. To stop telling me that she does not care what we eat, and then criticize every one of my suggestions. Pick a place. Story 67. A best friend, a ride or die, a partner in crime. Someone who has my back in good times and especially during bad times. Someone I could be vulnerable in front of would be nice, but I am never making that mistake again. Story 68. Honestly, I want loyalty. I have a girlfriend who is extremely loyal, and I love her very much for that. There isn't a person in this world I'd rather spend the rest of my life with. But I have been in relationships where I wasn't as lucky as I am now. When I say loyalty, I mean more than being faithful. I feel like being faithful in a relationship should be the bare minimum, even though in this day and age, people aren't always faithful, especially since we live in an era of hypersexuality. When I say loyalty, I mean being there for me emotionally when I am going through things. Sometimes I am not the best version of myself, and I find it frustrating in a relationship when women expect you to always be strong or to be there for them when they aren't at their best. But when you ask for the same support, you don't get the same level of effort. I also feel like being there for someone emotionally isn't necessarily about giving that person answers you may not have. It's more about being a person of comfort. For example, if I lose my job, I'd rather be with someone who says, "We're going to get through this and figure it out," compared to someone who gets uncomfortable or is quick to leave. I also want someone who is financially responsible. It's annoying that men are often expected to be financially secure when dating, but women can be broke. Personally, I don't care how much money someone makes. It's more about how you spend it. I'd be stressed if my partner spent hundreds of dollars on things we don't need when bills are coming up or didn't save any money. I don't mind if people splurge here and there, especially if everything else is already paid for. But it is annoying in situations where you still have to pay off extra stuff. Story 69. As an older man, I'll say that while I don't disagree with the wish list, I want to add some perspective for younger people. Many of you have hopefully experienced the loving kindness of a mother. Find that for your future children, not for yourself. You will not get that motherly experience from your wife. It will be much different. It will be more difficult and lonely, but very rewarding in different ways. I know there are gaps in generalized statements and each of us has our own experience, but it is going to be very hard and you are not going to get the hugs and kisses to make it better. Find an excellent wife, a mother for your children, and a partner who contributes more to the family unit than takes from it. Story 70. I enjoy having someone to make plans with for the future, working together to reach our goals and appreciating the effort involved. Knowing that when things get tough, I have someone to push through with me to reach the other side. I love going to bed with lots of blankets and either waking up sweating because I have them all or freezing because she stole them all. It is a constant struggle with no real winners or losers, but it keeps things fresh. Story 71. Someone to trust and cuddle with, someone who will listen to me the same way I listen to her. Having someone I can be vulnerable with. Story 72. The real pleasure is when you talk about life deeply and watch the sunset together on a summer evening. Story 73. Good company and conversation, groundedness, peace, maturity, autonomy, and a sense of ease when I am around her. Story 74. A hug, that kind of hug where she just melts into you because you are warm or she is tired after a long day. Story 75. A co-pilot in life. Someone who may not understand my unusual ideas but understands me. Someone I can truly trust. Story 76. Someone who is my partner and companion through everything. Someone who will not leave just because they found someone better. Someone who appreciates the effort I put in. Someone who can love me for who I am. Story 77. For a relationship, I am always looking for a woman I can trust who is respectful to herself and others. She should be passionate about her life and someone I can have fun with. A good sense of humor is a major bonus, and she should like someone affectionate because I am. Story 78. Married 27 years, together 37 years. 2 children in young careers. Companion in life. Sharing the challenges that arise. Raising children to become responsible citizens. Experiencing things together. Sharing chores. Good talks. Physical contact in all forms. Personal space, having our own lives as well as being together. I have all that. Story 79. Honestly, I want to feel safe around her. I do not want to act a certain way just to avoid conflict or judgment. Story 80. Clear. Direct communication and consistency are important. If you change your mind about something, it is okay. Let's talk about it and make changes together. This is how I want to learn that something is changing. Story 81. I want to spend time with her, laugh with her, cry with her, make memories with her, go through ups and downs with her. Just live life without caring if we look bad that day. Just simply being there. I do not care if she does not want to have sex before marriage. The best thing I want from a woman is just her love, trust, and caring. Story 82. What I really want is love. In all seriousness, I want the same as all human beings. A special person, love, validation, and stability to grow old with and have children. Story 83. We sometimes wear many different hats depending on where we are and who we are with, one for family, one for friends, one for work, and then all the smaller ones we may have with different acquaintances in various places and situations. You can lose yourself doing this if you don't have an anchor, a person you can let your guard down around and be yourself. I found myself in many relationships where that didn't seem possible, so I either left or they did. If your partner can't accept your true self, or at least a large part of your true self, then you should probably move on. You can't keep those walls up all the time. You can't keep focusing on them and not yourself sometimes, too. I found someone with whom I can do that. We have all had that feeling of coming home after a long, rough day at work, closing the front door behind us, and just letting go of the outside world version of ourselves. Now I get to do that with someone who wants to interact with my real, raw self after I close that door behind me. She is the very same. I would like to think most people at their core are looking for something similar. They just haven't identified it yet or put too much focus on the outside world rather than the little perfect private world they wish to create. They say, home is where the heart is. Well, it has never been more true than it is for me right now. I get to come home and let my guard down with someone else. All the other things we look for in a relationship then just fall into place. Story 84. A partner. Sometimes that is a best friend or a parent. Sometimes it is a therapist, sometimes it is a financial advisor, and sometimes it is a personal assistant. This is a huge ask, but I am willing to do the same to accomplish goals and dreams. I am extremely lucky to find a partner who not only meets but exceeds expectations. It makes me want to be a better person for them and for myself. Story 85. A personal cheerleader who believes in me and my dreams. As men, we usually do not receive free attention and compliments. We are often under pressure and stress from handling responsibilities and proving our worth, whereas women are often perceived as inherently valuable. Many of us grow up with too little affection and belief from our parents. The last thing we need is to come home to a nagging woman who speaks down to us. Do you want a man who feels like a Superman willing to move mountains for you? Speak to him softly in a way that motivates him to become the best version of himself. This approach works for more than just his dreams. Example: are you not satisfied with him not doing enough for you? Do not nag by saying, "You never do anything for me," or "You never do anything right." Instead, say, "I love you, and I know you can do so much more and better. You are the only man I want to make me happy because I believe in you. I would really appreciate it if you could do this." Watch how quickly things change. Story 86. A partner to help me reach my dreams, visions, and goals. Someone to motivate me and whom I motivate to reach her visions and aspirations. A person to talk to when I have no one else. A friend, a best friend. Someone to travel with, have fun, and live my best life. Story 87. Partnership, effort, accountability, acknowledging your part in the situation that happened. You find this ring. Story 88. A partner who I genuinely love spending time with, even especially during the mundane hours of the day, to share in each other's interests and have good, intelligent conversation. To be able to work well as a team when accomplishing important home tasks like cooking and cleaning. To support one another when the other is not feeling well or has too much going on in their own life at the moment. These things should go both ways. Many people seem to expect the other sex to do things in an unbalanced way in relationships, and I have never understood that. We both finance things, we both cook, we both clean, and we both help each other. We both do more than our fair share at times. We both forgive each other when we have to, and we both appreciate each other when it happens. Neither of us keeps track but trusts that the other will step up when it matters. Story 89. Trust and good judgment. Your partner has the ability to improve your life and keep you safe or ruin your life and possibly put you in danger. Story 90. I'd wager it's the same thing you want from us, but we're so wrapped up trying to figure it all out that we've missed the point. To just be together, loved, desired, and accepted for who we are, secure in our togetherness as well as when we are apart. The ability to just relax at home and maybe not speak a single word to each other and still know that everything is perfectly fine between us. Story 91. Trust, peace, compassion, companionship, and respect. These are all things I want to give someone, and these are the things I want in return. You could be a 10, but if peace is not something you are interested in, if trust is something you plan to abuse, if respect is something you do not plan to give, if togetherness is not something you crave, if indifference is your default instead of compassion, then you can count me out. I have found my inner peace. If you have not found yours and have no interest in finding it, then it really does make it easy to walk away. Story 92. I want a companion who loves me. I want to work together to help her, and potentially our children, grow and feel loved and supported. This will give shape and purpose to life. I want a person I trust to be my mirror and help me understand myself. I want someone who wants me to do all that for them. I want someone to have fun with and someone to plan for the future with. Intimacy is good too, but it is not the main point. Story 93. Someone who brings me that grandmotherly care and peace of mind, so I never have to be everything for her. Not obligated, but encouraged with love to do better for myself and for her. Someone who will bring me peace in my everyday life. Story 94. I want to be able to laugh loudly and often about the same things which we do in my relationship. It is really important. Story 95. The same personal liberties that they expect from us, and for them to do what they expect from us. It can get tiresome to have worked to reach an idealized point, only to run into pitfalls because some women haven't, and it's treated like it's our job to solve this issue. If not that, to not be dismissed when we open up because it's not some non-issue that we couldn't deal with on our own, like some people seem to expect. Like it has to be tailored or qualified a certain way. With hobbies and fan communities, all I want is the same sort of interactions I would have with other men from women. It just seems like, with the more nerdy ones, at least some women don't really want to measure up, acting like they have a whole different thing going on. It's not a matter of a personal thing. Story 96. I do not know what I want yet, but somehow, every time I am single, I just feel really sad. I am not talking about loneliness, just a general sadness in life. Story 97. Stay conscious that we matter. Stop thinking that because we have sex, it gives you a pass to knowingly undermine us. Changing us for the common good is great, but changing us to help your narrative to control an easier alignment takes a toll on us, and it feels humiliating. Don't ask a question that isn't the actual question because we are not innately wired to read between your intent. Let us like or love someone that you may not, because you are hindering us from closing an important emotional circuit. Most importantly, if you are married, remain our girlfriend. Do not become our mom. Story 98. One thing. Love is all I want. This is everything to me. I do not care about physical intimacy. Give me someone I can love and who loves me back. Story 99. Respect, admiration, clear communication, and peace. No mind games. No loyalty tests. No jealousy games. Be confident in your feminine energy. Many women today have a masculine boss babe personality. It is loud, aggressive, and off-putting. You do not need to be submissive or a pushover, quite the opposite. A strong, confident woman is attractive. A loud, confrontational, masculine woman is not. Story 100. I want to feel like my opinion matters. Call it explaining, but I want to feel like someone cares about what I have to say. Story 101. I like companionship. I don't need it all the time, but an adventure buddy to share my thoughts with is what I find myself doing most with my women friends, whether platonic or not. Story 102. I want an equal and loving partner. Someone who tries to put in 60% of the effort, not just 50%, required for a lifelong love, while I simultaneously put in another 60% instead of 50%. Someone who gives me her heart, body, and future so that I may treasure them all, while she treasures my heart, body, and future that I give to her. Story 103. Mature, kind, caring, enthusiastic about me, responsible, soft-spoken, loyal, and able to handle herself in stressful situations. Story 104. When I was single, the motto I followed was, "There is someone out there for me. I do not know what she looks like, sounds like, or who she is, but I will know her when I see her." Story 105. Please provide direct answers to my simple questions instead of vague responses when a clear answer exists. For example, say, "I'm picking up food. Do you want pizza?" If you really want pizza. Story 106. Women who ask questions, who genuinely want to know us and how we are doing. Many just talk about themselves and expect men to cater to their emotions, but men have emotions too. Story 107. I want a woman who will be happy to be with me, not cheat on me or treat me badly. I want her to have a nice personality and understand me. Story 108. From women as a class of people, nothing specifically. The vast majority of women I meet on a day-to-day basis are not potential partners, and therefore I want nothing different from them than I do from men. From potential partners, I want at least partial overlap of our interests so we can each participate in activities the other enjoys. Of course, mutual emotional support is important. It cannot be a situation where one person does all the talking and the other does all the listening because that does not make for a happy relationship. Also, some space from time to time is necessary. Neither partner should be the other's entire life. She should have her own friends and family that she enjoys spending time with. Story 109. A partner who challenges me and whom I can make laugh. A playmate with her own passions I can admire and who can admire mine. A travel companion whose perspective on the world adds texture to the people, places, and things we encounter. Story 110. I want someone who will listen and not judge me. Someone I can be vulnerable with and trust not to use it against me. Story 111. I think someone who makes me realize that my efforts are being seen. Someone who supports me and loves me for who I am. Story 112. Hugs, love, and support. For them to be as loyal to me as I am to them. Honesty and communication. An understanding that we can be both perfect and imperfect together. Story 113. Hugs, kisses, cuddles, an equal partner with whom I can talk about anything. Bonus points for teaching me new things. Story 114. Tell me where you want to go for dinner without making me keep guessing places until I get to the one you want. Do not cheat. In general, if you do something wrong, apologize rather than figure out a way to blame me. See cheating above, for example. Accept me for who I am, rather than the man you plan to mold me into. Story 115. A partner that will pick up where I am lacking and add to my life. I need someone to bounce ideas off, to challenge my thoughts, and to bring my home together. Someone who will share the workload of owning a home and not expect everything from me alone. I want a partner, not a child that I have to take care of. Story 116. This exact scenario, lying in bed while naked, but that is optional. Her holding me tight, my head on her chest. Lots of kisses, whispering sweet nothings and telling me everything will be okay. Her being okay with my crying in her arms, telling me she loves me. Oh man, I think I am broken. Story 117. Do you really want me to be as detailed as possible? That could become explicit quickly. But seriously, I want someone to explore the world with. Someone who is really smart and challenges me intellectually. I am looking for a woman who is spontaneous and continues to grow. This means having the freedom to travel without being tied to one place all year long. It means wanting to keep learning new skills, new ideas, new philosophies, and not becoming complacent in life. Story 118. Friendship. Companionship. Someone to have my back. Someone to make me a sandwich. A soulmate. Someone to have a laugh with. I am extremely blessed to have all of the above. Story 119. I want someone I can open up to, confide in, share my interests with, travel with, try new restaurants with, shop with, explore with, watch movies with, take a cruise with, learn from, and be my companion and dearest friend. Story 120. Someone who is not afraid to have fun. I went on a date with a girl to a contemporary art museum. It had about 50 rooms, each with completely different setups. One room was a hospital, another was a cave. We discovered that there was a connected story that you could only uncover by completing puzzles or reading things in each room. I thought this was very cool and wanted to solve each puzzle. She just wanted to see the rooms and move on. It was a serious buzzkill. Story 121. Cuddling. I miss cuddling more than sex, to be honest. Probably because I can fulfill my need for sex myself, but cuddling is very hard to replace. Story 122. For her to respect her own word after saying, I just want you to be vulnerable with me, means that if you want to hear emotions, you are going to hear at least one negative one. Just because I am actually upset one time does not mean I am mad at you. Story 123. To be truly heard. Like when I talk about how I am feeling, my words are not dismissed. To be shown true empathy and affection when I need it. Story 124. I want someone besides my family to travel with, share my hobbies and interests with, someone I can vent to, share music and funny or weird videos with, and someone who is okay with my autism. Story 125. To have someone who is genuinely curious about me and interested in hearing my perspective. Someone who can listen to what I have to say and consider what it means for me first, instead of responding through the lens of their own trauma and self-centeredness. Story 126. Knows how to cook, support you morally and be present at times when you need it most. Explore and live life to the fullest to create great memories. Story 127. I have 50 things that interest me. I want a woman who is interested in 50 things. If we are compatible, each one of us can find among those 50 things from our partner maybe 25 things we have a shared interest in. It is unreasonable to expect to like all the same 50 things. So now, as a couple, we have 75 things we are interested in, 25 only I am interested in, 25 only my partner is interested in, and 25 we are both interested in. Then, as a couple, we might find together another 25 things we both become interested in, making a total of 100 things, half of which we can share with each other, and half of which one of us is an expert in. I think if anyone ever wants the long version of "you complete me," this is how I would phrase it. Now, what exactly those things are could be anything. Hobbies, games, health, family, arts, music, mathematics, nature, public infrastructure, cooking, chocolates, baking, linguistics, foreign languages, computers, economics, household tasks, woodworking, materialism, mines, fin swimming, finances, rights, history, psychology, fantasy, elegance, dance, sleeping, camping, friends, skating, respect, questioning, guidance, existence, uniqueness, retrievability, chaos, machines, reusing, reading, subtracting, owning, dominating, learning, positivity, intuition, thinking, and perceiving. Story 128. Space when I need personal time alone after a hectic day of work. Equal effort in self-development and improvement, whether it is career or personal life. No victim mindset. Take ownership of responsibilities. It is okay to make mistakes. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.